If everyone dies, I can take all the credit and glory. I totally haven't been thinking such things. Nuh-uh, not at all. Kubo. What the fuck? So, before I get into this debacle, this atrocity that is pee-pee, this piece of shit, man, Mr. Popo does not approve of Mr. Pee-pee. It's... No. I just said I wasn't gonna go into it, but I am. I will. Because this shit is annoying. Because Kubo ain't treating brothers right. He's not. But, before I get into that, gotta talk about... Well, actually, before I even go to the chapter, obviously there's been some changes to the scanlation time, and I did a video on that right here. And the whole point here is that when it came to the scans, they're normally released earlier to certain comic stores or manga shops in Japan, and then they're sent over to China, and then they're scanned, some shit like that. But because there's a crackdown, pretty much, and the Japanese government, they're saying, no, don't do it. So, I mean, they came out like a day earlier on... Well, they came out yesterday, which in a sense is a day earlier, on Manga Panda. And I couldn't do the review yesterday because Tuesdays and Thursdays, I'm swamped. I'm taking 7 classes. And I have 4 classes on Tuesdays and Thursdays. All electrical engineering shit. So I'm always on campus doing stuff. And I have no time to do any videos at that point in time. So I had to do it today. And plus, they weren't even on Manga Stream yesterday. So I said, you know what, fine. I'll just do them on Friday, and lo and behold, today's Friday. So, let me go to the chapter itself, and no summary. Number 1, I find it fascinating that when it came to all the Quincy girls, it appears that Gazelle is like the most dominant. I never saw that coming. She, at some point, went over to Kensei, Rose, Rangiku, and she zombified their corpses. I was like, wait, what the? That threw me off. And that was a real big shocker to see them come in there and try and stop Mayuri from torturing Hitsugaya. But then, of course, you have the other Rankura. You have 2 Primo Espadas. You have fucking Nino. And here's the thing, too. Now, Rangiku, I'm assuming that she was dead. And I don't see why not. Again, she had that empty look of a corpse when we last saw her. And we can assume safely that Gremmy did kill Rose and Kensei, because they had taken damage beforehand from my man Masty Masculine. I don't know why niggas want to shit on Masty. This nigga was dope, man. He was awesome. But have a little fun in your lives, goddammit. But Masty Masculine, of course, damaged them, and Grammy was right there, and he just somehow killed him with his imagination. And actually, I'm doing a video on Grammy later this weekend, or whatever. The point here is that them being dead makes sense. Rangiku, we're not too sure, but keep in mind that when it comes to Gazelle and how her powers work, the zombified corpses are stronger when they are done before the person actually dies, like Hitsugaya. Whereas the ones like Kensei and Rose, since they were already dead, they should be weaker. This means that Nino and Lupi, from a power standpoint, from a power scaling standpoint, they shouldn't be on the same level naturally, but in this case they are, probably. If not a little bit higher, I'd assume. Because look at Bambita. Bambita, she was much, much weaker when she was returned. Well, when we see her as a zombified corpse, because she was turned to a zombie after she died. So the same thing should apply for all 3 of them. And then you have Lupi taking on Matsumoto, you have the chick taking on Rose, and then you have Nino taking on Kensei. So the next thing. I don't know what Mayuri did to Hitsugaya, but it was fascinating. It almost looked like a hollow type of thing. Maybe I'm wrong about that, but he stabs him with his Shikai. And I don't know if his Shikai still has the same power, because Mayuri is a very fascinating character in Bleach, where he can like tweak and alter his powers. He can modify his sword in any way, shape, and form. I mean, through the means of science, obviously, but I'm going to assume that his power is still the same. So Hitsugaya can't move. Because I think he stabbed him in the neck. I'm not too sure. But after that, he injects something into Hitsugaya. And even though it was through the neck where I said he was stabbed, the wound wasn't there. So again, I'm not too sure where Mayuri stabbed Hitsugaya, but he stabbed him. So Hitsugaya should be able to move because of the powers of his Shikai. Therefore, Hitsugaya could be injected with this weird serum. And again, his body turning like pitch black. It kind of reminds me of a hollow type of thing, but I'm not too sure what he's doing in detail. And the fact that what was really eerie was you have Mayuri, and he's just watching. Like, no emotions, no nothing. Just watching as Hitsugaya is jerking and yelling and pleading, and he's just watching. I'm like, dude, whoa. So it was really eerie, messed up, but then again, he's Mayuri. He's known for that shit. Those parts are pretty good in them themselves. When it comes to the later parts, now, this is where I have mixed feelings. So, number one of the second half of the chapter, Colonel Sanders is down. I don't like that. Now, I'm hoping that he's still alive, because you have Colonel Sanders, you have Candace Catnip, who I'm a fan of, but her being down, I think it's okay, because we've already seen what her powers are, in essence. And then you have na. And, I mean, he's basically another black guy that's been shitted on in the entirety of the Bleach series. That's the honest truth. Look at the motherfucker. He's not exactly the most appealing individual in Bleach, just saying. And his name is na. Not exactly the most eloquent of names. Again, just saying. But the point here is I really want to see Colonel Sanders go in. But he's down, and that kind of makes me a little bit upset's not the right word, but I'm a little bit disheartened. Now, I'm hoping that he's still alive, and at some point he'll come back and like fight. I mean, this is the same guy that shot in Kiraku's eye, and Kiraku's right now your Captain Commander. So you would think that he'd be like, I mean, and granted, Byakuya has gotten a huge power increase because of what happened in the Royal Crocodile Squad area, but I would hope that there'd be a little more of a fight. And what also was very weird was that you had Mac Allen and the Glun chick. Mac Allen was making note that it makes sense that those two were the ones who were remaining, who were still standing, because they're more combat savvy, or they're stronger. That, I think, is horseshit. I don't buy that. You're telling me that Mac Allen is stronger than the dude who shot in Kiraku's eye? No, there's no way, man. I don't buy that for a split second. So, what goes on there, I'm not too sure. Though it is fascinating to see Byakuya just murk all these Quincy, like Kenpachi did. Like, remember when everyone was like, "Oh shit, the Quincy, no!" They're just running they're running roughshod on everyone. And then who comes in there? Kenpachi. He has 3 Quincy corpses on his back. Like, are you the fucking boss? I'm coming for you. Like, that was cool. So Byakuya's pulling like the same shit, but with Quincy that we're more familiar with, not like random fodder Quincy. And furthermore, Byakuya is doing this, I'm pretty sure, with just his Shikai. I won't say Bankai. So if he's taking on Quincy with just his Shikai alone, then he's gotten much more powerful. I mean, Ichigo, I think, had a much harder time. I mean, well, okay, fine. To be fair, Ichigo, I'm pretty sure, didn't actually go all out when he first came in there and took on the girls. Whereas Byakuya, I think that he wouldn't really care if they were girls or guys. He has no bias. They are enemies of the Seirete, of Soul Society, of Shinigami, the world. therefore you die. So that's my assumption. That's my take on that. And the last part of this chapter, which is just an atrocity, PP. I mean, I was gonna go on like a 5-minute tear, but you know, fuck it. Basically, it's PP, another black dude who, by the way, rehashed powers. Wow. Zomari, oh, I have power to control with my eyes. And all of a sudden, here comes another black guy that looks weird as shit. And he has the powers to control you. Oh, wow. Ooh. I mean, just take a... I'm just saying the truth. Like, I'm not bullshitting. It's the reality. You have Tosin, who was pretty fucking beast. He was very beast. And then he turns to a fucking bug. Kamamura. Oh, I so mad, dog. So fucking mad, you have no idea. And then, after you get fucking Kumamoto Miyazi bullshit Tosin, you have fucking na. And he's a debacle character. He really is. He just looks stupid. He looks so unappealing, unintimidating. He's not good. And he got taken up by Byakuya off screen. Fuck this dude. Then you have Zomari, who was kind of cool, and then it just plummeted. It just plummeted real quick after he went to his resurrection form. It plummeted. You know, done. And then you have fucking PP. Oh, the way he's designed, which was okay at first, but now after seeing what his powers are, it makes this dude look like a real sick, perverted, twist motherfucker. If he was like some kind of like sage type dude that like didn't say much and he just murked motherfuckers, something like that would have been way more appealing than fucking what he's like, than being like this weird perverted like the way he ended that shit off, man. Like not at all, like the fucking love thing. I'm like, oh god, it's atrocious. I can't stomach it. I just can't. I cannot. Alright, so I had like a 3-minute rant, whatever. Just, you know, chalk it up, Kubo, fuck it. I'm done. And I know that some people are going to say, well, no, Kubo's probably not thinking that way. It just happens to be all coincidence. I point out the facts. What you do with the facts is what you do with the facts. They're just facts. So I'm done. The chapter overall, it has its ups, it has its downs, clearly. And I do think it's good, despite the fact that we have bullshittery everywhere at the end. And parts where I'm not too sure. Oh yeah, I forgot one of the main parts. Shit. You have Hisagi Shuhei being controlled. That part, I think I'm okay with, as long as I get to see his Bankai. If Hisagi's gonna use his Bankai against Byakuya, then fine. I just want to see his Bankai. I want to see his Bankai. Because Hisagi's a cool character, and yes, he's being controlled by Pepe, alright, Pepe, whatever his name is, and I think it is a good opportunity to showcase the full extent of his Bankai powers against Byakuya, who is clearly way more stronger now than he was back in the past. So, yeah, let's see that. So overall, the chapter is good plus, but it still has sprinkles of shit on it. So I'm done. King Lightning, rate the video, comment, and subscribe as always. Peace. Have a nice day.